You sleep, but you don't wake up restored. After 60, nights get longer, yet rest feels shorter. It's not insomnia. It's a body that never fully lets go. You're not lazy in the morning, you're unrepaired. And there is a quiet frustration that many people carry into their later years. You go to bed on time, you stay there for hours, you may even sleep through the night, and yet you wake up feeling as if something essential never happened. The body feels heavy, the mind feels foggy. Energy is thin before the day even begins. This isn't the dramatic sleeplessness people talk about. It's subtler. Lying awake without panic, waking too early without a reason, sleeping enough, yet feeling unfinished. As if the night passed, but your body never truly arrived. For years, you may have blamed yourself. Age, stress, bad habits. You tried earlier bedtimes, supplements, and strict routines. Some nights improved, many didn't. And slowly a belief settled in. This is just how it is now. But here's the truth most people are never told. The problem is not how long you sleep. The problem is how deeply your body's allowed to go. Deep sleep is the stage where real repair happens, where muscles restore, inflammation calms, memory clears, and the nervous system finally releases its grip. Without it, the body survives the night, but it doesn't recover from the day. And after 60, many bodies no longer enter this state easily. Not because they are broken, but because they have learned to stay alert, to hold on, to remain on watch. When a body doesn't feel safe enough to fully let go, it never drops into the sleep that heals. And to understand why deep sleep disappeared, we need to look at what's been keeping the body on guard all these years. 1. Why the body can't enter deep sleep anymore. A guarded nervous system cannot fall into deep sleep. The body stays alert long after the danger is gone. Stress doesn't end at bedtime. It follows you into the night. You're not waking up for no reason. Your body is still on watch. For decades, your body learned to stay ready. Ready for responsibility. Ready for problems. Ready to hold everything together. Even when life looked calm on the outside, the nervous system stayed quietly alert, scanning for what might go wrong next. That habit doesn't disappear just because the house is quiet or the calendar is lighter. Deep sleep requires something many people haven't felt in a long time. Safety, not silence, not darkness, not exhaustion. Safety. A body that learned to survive rarely knows how to fully stand down. Stress is not just a busy schedule or a difficult year. It is the accumulation of pressure held without release, years of putting others first, years of swallowing emotion to stay functional, years of grief that never had space to move through the body. Retirement may slow the pace of life, but it doesn't automatically calm a nervous system trained to be on duty. The mind may say, it's over. The body says, stay ready. This is why sleep becomes lighter with age, not because the body's failing, but because it never learned how to feel safe enough to let go. The muscles remain slightly tense. Breathing stays shallow. The heart listens even in silence. And when the body senses even a small internal shift, it wakes you, not to bother you, but to protect you. In Zen teachings, there is a story of a monk who could not sleep. Night after night, he sat in meditation, frustrated by his restless body. He asked his teacher, "Why won't my body rest?" The teacher replied, "You are still guarding the door. Put down your spear." Many bodies after 60 are still holding the spear. Even when danger has passed, the nervous system remembers its job. It remembers loss. It remembers responsibility. It remembers the years when rest was not allowed. And so at night, instead of sinking, the body hovers. Instead of repairing, it waits. Deep sleep is not something the body can be forced into. Supplements can sedate. Routines can distract. But none of these tells the nervous system what it needs most. You are safe now. Without that message, the body may sleep, but it will not repair. Loneliness plays a quiet role here too. When life slows down, unresolved emotions finally surface. The distractions are gone. Thus, the silence grows louder. The body, sensing this emotional vulnerability, becomes more alert, not less. Deep sleep feels risky when the inner world feels unsettled. A body that never felt held cannot fully let go. This is why many people wake between 2 and 4 a.m. The mind is quiet, but the body is processing what was postponed during the day. It's not random. It's unfinished business, finally asking for space. In Buddhist practice, rest is not something earned after effort. It is something allowed when resistance ends. The body enters deep sleep not when it is exhausted enough, but when it no longer feels it must stay in control. And that leads to a crucial understanding. If deep sleep requires safety, then repair can only begin when the body finally learns it is allowed to rest. 2. Deep sleep is when the body truly repairs itself. Real healing doesn't happen when you're awake. It happens when you're deeply asleep. Deep sleep is the body's repair shop, not just a rest state. Without deep sleep, recovery is always incomplete. You can't supplement what deep sleep is meant to do. There is a quiet misunderstanding about sleep that many people carry for years. We think rest is something the mind needs. In truth, deep sleep is something the body needs. Urgently, continuously, and without substitutes. When deep sleep is missing, the body does not simply feel tired. It feels unfinished. Deep sleep is when the body finally goes to work. This is the phase where tissue repairs itself. Tiny tears in muscles and joints are restored. Inflammation is reduced. The immune system recalibrates. Hormones that regulate appetite, mood, and pain find their balance again. The brain clears metabolic waste that accumulates during the day. Memory is sorted. Emotional residue is processed. When this phase is shortened or skipped, the body carries yesterday into today and today into tomorrow. That's why aches linger. That's why energy never fully returns. You can lie in bed for 8 hours and still wake up unrestored if the body never entered this deeper state. Shallow sleep rests on the surface. Deep sleep repairs the foundation. In Buddhist teachings, sleep is often compared to a temple being cleaned at night. During the day, people come and go. Dust accumulates. Offerings are placed and removed. But at night, when the doors are closed and the guards rest, the monks sweep the floors, wash the altars, and restore order. If the doors never close, the cleaning never truly happens. A body that never fully closes its doors never fully repairs. After 60, this becomes especially noticeable. Healing slows not because the body has lost its intelligence, but because it is rarely given the conditions it needs to complete its work. Hormones that support repair are released primarily during deep sleep. Without them, recovery becomes fragmented. The body keeps compensating instead of restoring. This is also why emotional healing feels incomplete without deep sleep. During this phase, the brain regulates emotional charge. Old worries lose their sharp edges. The nervous system releases what it no longer needs to carry. Without it, emotions stay closer to the surface. Loneliness feels heavier. Small stresses feel larger. The body wakes already braced. Deep sleep doesn't just repair tissues, it repairs trust. And there is a Zen story of an old monk who was asked how he remained so peaceful despite his age. He replied, When I sleep completely. I do not keep one eye open for tomorrow." His student didn't understand. The monk explained, "A body that rests halfway must wake up twice." Many people after 60 are waking up twice, once from sleep and once from a body that never fully let go. No pill can replace this process. No supplement can mimic it. You can support sleep, but you cannot manufacture deep sleep through effort. It arrives only when the body believes it is allowed to stand down. Deep sleep is not commanded, it is invited. And that invitation is not about darkness or silence alone. It's about safety. When the body senses safety, it releases control. When it releases control, it repairs what stress interrupted. This leads to an essential truth. Deep sleep cannot be forced. It appears only when the body feels safe enough to surrender. 3. The real enemy of deep sleep is inner tension. You don't lose deep sleep because of age. You lose it because of tension. A mind that never rests keeps the body half awake. Trying harder to sleep often makes sleep disappear. The body doesn't sleep deeply when it feels judged or rushed. Many people blame age for their broken sleep. They're told it's normal, inevitable, or just another thing to accept after 60. But this explanation misses the truth that lives beneath the surface. The body does not forget how to sleep deeply over time. It forgets because it no longer feels safe enough to let go. Deep sleep is not a mechanical function. It's a relationship. It's a relationship between your nervous system and the present moment. And for many people later in life, that relationship has been strained for years. Inner tension doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet, subtle, polite. It's the tension of holding it together, of not wanting to be a burden, of carrying unspoken grief, of lying in bed with a calm face while the body hums with unsaid things. A body carrying unresolved emotion does not fully power down. Loneliness plays a larger role here than most people admit. When the day is busy, the mind is distracted. At night, the distractions fade, the silence grows, and suddenly the body is alone with what it has been holding back. Old memories, regrets, worries about the future, losses that were never given time to be felt. The body responds the only way it knows how, by staying alert. This is why so many people fall asleep easily, and then wake hours later. Or wake too early, heart slightly racing, unable to explain why. The nervous system is not malfunctioning, it is listening. Insomnia is not a failure, it's feedback. In Zen teachings, there is a saying, "The body speaks when the mind refuses to listen." Broken sleep is often the body's last way of asking for attention without words. Trying to force sleep usually backfires. Watching the clock, worrying about tomorrow, telling yourself you must sleep now. These messages signal pressure, not safety, and the nervous system responds by tightening further. Sleep does not arrive under command. It arrives under permission. Judgment is another quiet enemy. When you lie in bed criticizing yourself for not sleeping, for aging, for being weak, the body hears threat. Even self-directed frustration keeps the system alert. A judged body does not surrender. There is a Zen story of a student who complained to his teacher, I cannot sleep no matter how hard I try." The teacher replied, "Then stop trying." When the student asked how, the teacher said, "Lie down with no intention to sleep. Just rest." That night, the student slept deeply for the first time in weeks. Deep sleep returns when the fight ends. Later in life, many people carry an identity built on effort, fixing, enduring, managing. That identity works during the day, but it keeps the body tense at night. Sleep requires a different posture, allowance instead of control. You are not broken because you can't sleep deeply. Your body is not betraying you. It is responding honestly to years of pressure, self-silencing, and emotional vigilance. When inner tension softens, sleep deepens. And this is why the path back to deep sleep is not about doing more. It's not about perfect routines or stronger solutions. The path back is quieter, slower, older than modern advice. It is the forgotten art of allowing. 4. Relearning the art of deep sleep gently. Deep sleep is invited, not commanded. The body falls asleep when it trusts you. Small signals of calm matter more than strict routines. Nighttime healing begins long before bedtime. Most advice about sleep sounds like discipline. Do this. Don't do that. Be stricter. Be earlier. Be better. But deep sleep doesn't respond to authority. It responds to the relationship. After 60, the body listens less to rules and more to tone. Not what you demand, but how you live with it. The body does not fall asleep because the clock says it should. It falls asleep because it feels allowed to. Relearning deep sleep is not a nighttime project. It's a daytime conversation. Every moment you rush through fatigue, ignore emotion, or override your limits, the nervous system learns one thing: stay alert. Every moment you pause without guilt, breathe without agenda, or move gently, it learns the opposite. It's safe to soften. There's a Zen teaching that says, the way you walk during the day is the way you lie down at night. If your days are filled with self-pressure, be productive, be useful, don't slow down, your nights will echo that same vigilance. But if your days include permission, your nights inherit it. Nighttime healing begins with how you treat yourself at noon. This matters deeply for those living alone later in life. Without someone else setting the rhythm, meals, conversation, shared rest, the nervous system can drift into quiet hypervigilance. The house is silent. The evenings are long. The body fills the space by staying alert. Deep sleep doesn't arrive because no felt signal says you're held. So the art is not to fix sleep, but to create safety. Oh, safety looks small, unimpressive, almost invisible. It looks like slowing down the last hour of the evening without scrolling for distraction. It looks like dimming lights earlier, not to sleep sooner, but to tell the body the day is winding down. It looks like releasing guilt around rest, especially the guilt learned over decades of responsibility. The body sleeps when it no longer has to prove anything. One Zen story tells of an old monk who slept deeply every night, even as others struggled. When asked his secret, he said, "I finish the day before night arrives." He meant this: he did not carry the day into bed. He bowed to it, released it, and let it end. Many people carry unfinished emotional weight into the night: regrets, worries, things never said. A deep sleep struggles not because the bed is uncomfortable, but because the body is still holding the day open. Relearning deep sleep gently means creating small rituals of closure. A pause at dusk, a slow cup of tea, a few breaths with a hand on the chest. Not to make sleep happen, but to tell the nervous system, you are done for today. Trust grows through consistency, not intensity. You don't need perfect routines. You need repeated signals of kindness. The body doesn't require effort, it requires reassurance. And when reassurance becomes familiar, surrender becomes possible. There's nothing wrong with you because sleep hasn't come easily. Your body has been doing its best to protect you. Now it needs to learn something new. And this leads to a realization that many people discover only after years of restless nights. Deep sleep is the body's most powerful repair tool. No pill can replace what deep sleep restores. After 60, sleep is not about escaping the day, it's about repairing a lifetime. When deep sleep returns, the body remembers how to heal. There's a quiet relief in knowing this. Deep sleep is not gone forever. It hasn't disappeared with age. It hasn't abandoned you. It has simply been waiting for the moment your body feels safe enough to let go. For years, you may have blamed yourself, your habits, your willpower, your age. You may have believed something was broken. But deep sleep doesn't respond to blame or pressure. It responds to permission. Sleep is not something you earn by being exhausted enough. It is something the body allows when it no longer feels judged, rushed, or pushed. After 60, the body carries a long memory, a memory of responsibility, of loss, of staying strong when rest wasn't an option. Deep sleep isn't just about tonight. It's about unwinding decades of vigilance. That takes gentleness and time. Healing sleep begins the moment the fight with night ends. When deep sleep returns, even in small fragments, the body changes. Inflammation softens. Mornings feel less heavy. Emotions settle more quickly. The nervous system learns a new rhythm. Not urgency, but trust. This is not fantasy. This is biology responding to safety. There is nothing weak about needing deep sleep. There is nothing wrong with you for missing it. The body has been protecting you. Now it needs your cooperation. Deep sleep is not a luxury for the young. It is medicine for every stage of life. Tonight, you don't need to try harder. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need to control the night. Begin with one quiet shift. Stop judging your sleep. Stop chasing it. Let the body know it's allowed to rest, even if sleep comes slowly. And if this message resonates with you, if it names something you've been feeling but never quite said, take a moment to stay connected. Share in the comments. What feels hardest about sleep for you right now? Like this video if it offered you comfort or clarity. Share it with someone who may be struggling silently at night. And subscribe for more reflections on sleep, aging, healing, and inner calm. Because deep sleep is not lost. It's waiting. And your body knows how to return when it finally feels safe enough to do so.